Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Something that's always held a very special place in my heart for a very long time has obviously been Descendants of Zombies. And that's what you guys see in every video that I've ever had the honor to create. Because having the honor to create these videos presented me with a chance to be seen and heard by more people than I ever imagined possible, that I ever thought would watch these videos. And ever since becoming a part of this niche, I've had the time of my life. And I want you guys to know that I will never ever forget any of you. And you guys will always hold a very special place in my heart for the stories I've shared with you and what we created together. Because this YouTube channel never happened because some guy at random just decided one morning when he woke up that he was going to create a Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel for everybody. This YouTube channel happened because of a collective effort by myself and everybody who watches these videos, because you guys put the number of views behind every video, and you guys are always having subscribers happen for this YouTube channel. You are the reason why everybody hits the subscribe button for the stories I've shared, because I've always believed that if you tell a story, you should bring your story to life, and you should believe in your stories with all of your heart. I've really had the time of my life sharing this story with you guys about how I became a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I obviously saw something special in Clarke and Trell's ability to bring characters such as Red to life, and how I thought Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget was just so sweet and so genuinely kind, and that's what I loved about her so much, and that's why Ruby became my favorite Descendants character of all time. And to be honest with you guys, Ruby Rose Turner is a character that I will forever and always miss, that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart for having always been my favorite Descendants character. Now I know there are people out there that will forever choose Mel as their favorite Descendants character for how fearless she was, how she never really cared about what anybody thought about her, and how many characters really stood out for their own criteria and their own character traits, which is what it takes to bring characters to life. But there was always something about Ruby Rose Turner's character for just how genuinely kind the girl was that I could never seem to get enough of, and I was forever supportive. I will always remember being forever supportive of the three of them, Clarke and Trell, Malia Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner. There was always something about seeing them together and sharing in so many special moments together, spending every moment of a waking day together that I could never get enough of, and I always found time in appreciating, because it represented many of our friendships that we've had and we've made in our lifetime, that we always have this one friend. No matter who we are, we always have this one friend that we always call, that we seem to tell everything to, that is there for us every step of the way. And I think that's what the three of them represented. There was something special about seeing the three of them together and having the chance to work together that I always supported, that I could never seem to get enough of. And that's something I've always taken away from the Descendants franchise with me, no matter where I go, is just how special this friendship was. We saw the same thing with Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron's friendship, and how supportive they were of each other, and how they were there for each other every step of the way. And that's what made Descendants in its original trilogy so special, was the beautiful story between Mal and Evie and how that story was told. It was a very different story from any Disney Channel franchise of the past, because we've seen many of them achieve so much success for its music and their powerful stories. But nothing really comes close to a comparison that could be made between Descendants and Zombies with anything else that Disney has created over the years. Because over the years we've seen every concept from Hannah Montana to Wizards of Waverly Place go to the top of Disney Channel for the music, and the stars who brought these characters to life, such as Miley Stewart and Alex Russo, characters that will go on to hold a very special place in our hearts for many years to come. But when it comes to the Descendants franchise, you not only had music to rely on, you had powerful stories that really represented these characters so phenomenally, and so many people learned from these character stories and their experiences about how much of a profound impact, say, bullying can have on a person's life. Because, I mean, let's face the reality of life. We all go through it. I know I went through it in high school. I endured a lot of bullying, and I felt very differently about it. But the thing was, I was able to shine through with everything that I wanted to set out to accomplish in life, one of them being a successful YouTuber, which I had the chance to become because of all of you, for how well received every video that I would go on to create would become. There are thousands of people who watch these videos every day, and when I see people becoming friends over Descendants of Zombies and always bonding, that's what makes it worth it for me. Over 25 years, I've seen so many beautiful friendships happen, and friendships that have really stood the test of time and really remain constant, because no matter who we are, as I just said, we all had that one special friend. I had a very special friend when I was in high school that I spent a lot of time with. We played video games together. We even tried to create our own indie band, and while we may have never made it famous, we always spent time together on the weekends trying to rehearse and play video games together, and that's what allowed us to have the chance to get to know each other a whole lot better and remain friends for our entire lives. I never ever forgot that friendship that I had with many people that I would go on to have over the years. But I think that's what's so precious about life. Along with the friends that we make in our lifetime, it's the time that we have that we are allocated and how we choose to spend it. Like how Red and Chloe spent every moment together on set and became the best of friends, not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. You know, I've never really cared about the rumors that have been started about Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker's friendship, because I think that's just rumors that people are trying to start to create controversy amongst fans, to make them think something that really isn't the case. I think that they have been incredibly supportive of each other, and as I just said, there's always been something that I could never get enough of when it came to the friendships of, say, Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker. How incredibly supportive they are of each other, how they're always video chatting with each other, how they're always calling each other, and they seem to be there every step of the way for each other. You know, I think that the friendship between Freya Skye and Malachi Barton is another friendship that obviously stands the test of time, that will be a friendship that will remain constant for many years. And I think a lot of us are going to find time in appreciating their friendship, because the most beautiful thing about their story is it's a story that has yet to be told. So because it's a story that has yet to be told, there are still a lot of predictions coming in about it. There are still a lot of different ways people feel about it. And I think that's what makes it so special, is that we don't know necessarily what quite to expect about it. I can assure you, while I may not know what the future has in store for Freya Skye and Malachi Barton, I know it's going to be something so spectacular that we are never ever going to forget, and we're just going to wish to see more of. That these are going to be moments that we are going to wish that will never come to an end, and I think that's something for us to hold on to, the belief that these moments should never come to an end, and that they should always be celebrated and forever and always honored. I've had the time of my life watching the progression of stars like Freya Skye and Malachi Barton kind of come into their own, and how they've kind of taken over the responsibilities of the leads in the Zombies franchise. Undoubtedly, Zed and Addison are characters who will forever and always hold a very special place in our hearts. They did for over 7 years, and they will continue to for many years to come. But I think their story is going to be so powerfully represented and retold in ways that we never imagined possible. It was a beautiful love story about how Addison was struggling with acceptance and how Zed helped her find it, and how she, in turn, also helped Zed find acceptance in a world where he believed at the time zombies would never achieve acceptance. And there are so many people in this world who feel that same way, who feel as if they will never find their place in the world, how they will never find acceptance. And that's what made Zombies so relatable, because we see people struggling with this and going through the same thing every day. In high school, we see it every day when we go home on the bus, when we're walking home, we just pass by people in stores, in the mall, who are struggling with the same kind of thing. But you know, that's what is so appreciative about life, is how so many people present a chance to experience diversity. And that's what we see in the Descendants franchise, is a whole lot of diversity being represented. For many of us, for the first time ever, because we too are trying to find our place in the world. We don't know where we're headed. We don't know what we want to make of our lives. But when we find our purpose, that's a really wonderful feeling, because I've always believed that everybody has a light, and everybody eventually does find a light. And I think that Descendants of Zombies has been a surefire indication that everybody will eventually find their purpose and find their light. Perhaps we should just keep watching to find out what the future has in store, rather than making predictions and thinking this is going to happen, or feeling this should have happened when it should have happened a long time ago. I think there are a lot of people who have kind of misinterpreted Descendants of Zombies and really taken it for granted, because I really do believe that when you record a video about Descendants of Zombies, you should say something nice. You should give somebody something special to believe in when it comes to their favorite characters, because I can assure you there is somebody out there who loves Red with all of their heart, who loves Bridget with all of their heart. I'm not the only one who's obviously had a very special place in their heart for Bridget for a very long time. And I can assure you it's had everything to do with how genuinely sweet that girl was. She always wanted to make everybody around her happy, and she always wanted to represent an emphatic message of kindness, which songs like Life is Sweet When You Are helped her spread, a message of kindness. Because the thing is, I found time in relating to Bridget, because that's what I always wanted to do in every video that I ever created, to let people know that kind people out there in that world existed, and that people really can make a difference by showing a simple act of kindness to everybody every day. I've always believed that I've never seen enough kindness shown in this lifetime, nor enough kind people. But when I became a part of this niche, the one thing I quickly found out about this niche were you guys were never going to quit on me for having created so many wonderful videos about Descendants of Zombies for you. And I know the reason why I'm here is because of each and every one of you. I would have never had the chance to relate to so many wonderful people if never for the love and support that I received from you guys constantly. You guys have been the one thing that's always been consistent in my lifetime. And I would just like to say thank you so much for having made this YouTube channel your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel for the stories I've shared with you guys, the stories you've shared with me, and stories that have allowed us to connect. Because I like to believe that this channel, if it's done anything at all, it's bring every fan of Descendants of Zombies that much closer together and give them something far greater to believe in than perhaps ever before. I think that when you can tell the story of Descendants of Zombies very differently, it's something that you should appreciate because not many people can tell the story of Descendants of Zombies differently, can represent it as powerfully as what I have, through stories of sharing with you about how I was a fan of Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland, who I thought were beautiful characters and beautiful stories in their own right. How Cinderella's gown was always blue, and how the gown in the live action took 45 minutes to walk the full length of the fabric because it was such a beautiful gown. And how the stories of Aurora and stories of Ariel were so beautiful, and stories like Sleeping Beauty and The Little Mermaid for how beautiful and how iconic these princesses will go on to become. I think no matter who we are, we all have a favorite Disney princess, and I think we have a favorite version of this story that we've loved for what feels like forever. So when we saw the Descendants versions of these stories being told through the eyes of VKs and AKs, that's what made this so appreciated by millions of people. That's what made this so fun to experience. And I really had the time of my life bringing these stories to life in ways that I knew people were never going to have the chance to bring it to life before. Because in order to have that appreciation for Descendants of Zombies, you've got to watch it. And you've got to review it in a way that it's always been meant to be reviewed, with passion and obviously with heart. It takes a whole lot of heart to believe in Descendants of Zombies as so much as what a super fan does. And I want you guys to know that I've always had your back when it comes to criticism directed towards your favorite stars, because I've really had no time for criticism in my life. I think that any form of criticism we choose to talk about on our programs, there's really no nice form of criticism, and I think we can do something about that. And we can obviously do something about that together, because when it comes to saying something nice about your favorite stars, I've always wanted to be a part of these conversations. They are conversations I've obviously looked forward to, conversations that have gone on to hold a very special place in my heart, and conversations that I've always wanted to be a part of. Because if I could be a part of anything, it would have had to have been the soundtracks of Descendants of Zombies, because they've held a very special place in my heart. And I think the futures and the stars, when it comes to Freya, Sky, and Clarke and Trell, are going to shine brighter out there in that constellation, brighter than any stars have ever shined before. And when it comes to opportunities like playing the Rapunzel character or playing Tinkerbell, I think people like Freya, Sky are up there in the conversations. Obviously up there in the conversations for forever of being the next Taylor Swifts or the next Ariana Grandes, who are people who are obviously very overrated. But I think that even though they are very overrated, there are chances for people like Freya, Sky, and Kylie and Trell to really take over and represent their futures in ways they never imagined possible. When you see Kylie and Trell on the red carpet for the Grammys and the iHeartRadio Music Awards, and having chances to really promote her music the way she wants to promote it for the first time ever after having signed a deal with Republic Records, which is something I'm really excited about, I can't help but be more excited and more appreciative of Kylie and Trell's future, and so excited to be a part of it and to share in that with all of you, and also to share in the futures of people like Freya, Sky, who have forever been supportive of all of you because they believe in you, because they know that you're the reason why they are in the position they are to really take over. You know, there hasn't been a day passed me by that I haven't heard Freya Sky's song Silent Treatment on the radio. I've always heard it on syndicated radio, and I've had such an appreciation for how Freya has been able to bring her music to life and relate to you through the lyrics that you hear in her songs. Because it's never been about how Freya Sky may have had something happen to her. It's always been about relating to you for Freya. And that's what's made her EP Stardust so successful and so relatable to millions of people. Because you're somebody who's always downloading her music on iTunes, YouTube Music, Apple Music, what have you. And I think these are moments to really honor and certainly appreciate, because these are moments that don't happen that often. So because these moments never really happen that often, they should be appreciated, and they should forever and always be remembered. And I think millions of people, no matter who they are, have obviously taken something special away from these characters and their stories from events like the Worlds Collide Tour and upcoming premieres like Descendants 5 with Wonderland, because this summer is going to be something huge. We also have Camp Rock 3 this summer to look forward to, And I'm so excited to be a part of that and sharing that with so many wonderful people. All I can say is thank you so much for allowing me the chance to have been the voice of Descendants of Zombies for however long I've been the voice of Descendants of Zombies, because it really feels like forever. And I know forever is a really long time to many of you, but I think we can give even more fans of Descendants of Zombies something special to believe in. In light of all the criticism, we can take that away, and we can do something about that. And we can always give conversation to people that they can look forward to, and videos they can find time and appreciate, and always and forever hit your subscribe button because they too feel the same way about Freya. They've always loved Kylie Cantrell. So because they've always loved Kylie Cantrell, I think we can lighten the mood, and we can give people something special to look forward to and feel more encouraged about futures that have everything to do with their favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. I love having these conversations with thousands of people, and they are conversations I look forward to continuing on having in the very near future. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of these conversations and to share my story with you, for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having a very special place in your hearts for forever and always for Descendants of Zombie stars, because it's a future that I look forward to being a part of. And thank you so much for having watched this video. It's forever and always been my honor to create so many wonderful videos about Descendants of Zombies for so many wonderful people.